Biology, Part 228. It has played a vital part in the evolution of flowering plants. The main form of the polyploidy leading to the speciation called allopolyploidy occurs when individuals of two different but related species are accidentally hybridized. The offsprings of such a cross may be vigorous plants. Although they are usually sterile because their chromosomes are unable to pair up correctly at meiosis. However, new plants with double the hybrid chromosome number sometimes appear. Often these are fully fertile and they form a new species distinct from either of the original parent types. Breadwheat Triticum activum is a hybrid polyploid resulting from a cross between a wild grass and an early cultivated variety. Less commonly, new types of the plants may appear by the autopolyploidy, in which diploid gametes formed by individuals of the same species fuse to produce the tetraploid offsprings. Artificially introduced autopolyploid has been used to produce new and more vigorous varieties of the crop plants such as sugar beet and tomatoes. Number 2, ecological isolation. When a new adaptation arises, a few members of an interbreeding population, one of two things is likely to happen. Either the new feature will be generally favored and is likely to disappear. If divergence is to occur, the new adaptation must lead directly to reproductive isolation for individuals which possess it. A possible example concerns insects feeding on different host plants. Many species are continued to just one type of the host plant, although females occasionally lay eggs on different plants. Experiments have shown that the females who develop successfully on a new lost found often return to lay their own eggs, preferring the new plant to the normal lost species. The offspring produced are exposed under the circumstances, and they deliver their own features as they get along with them. A possible example concerns with the feeding of different host plants. Many species are confined just to one type of the host plant, and the females which develop successfully on new host often return to lay their own eggs, preferring the new plant to normal ones. Such individuals are said to be ecologically isolated from the rest of the population. They inhabit the same area but are separated by their feeding behavior. Any tendency for them to breed with each rather than the parent species will be favored. Leading to a further divergence, similar processes could have taken place among parasites, many of which are host-specific. In these limited circumstances, sympatric speciation is possible. However, it is clear that geographical separation must have been far the more important trigger for evolutionary changes. Well, as we move ahead to our next videos, we'll consider the integrity of the species, and we'll talk about the isolating mechanism, we'll talk about the pre-mating mechanism, and we'll talk about the behavioral isolation as well. We'll define the isolation mechanism, we'll distinguish between the reproductive isolation and geographical isolation. We'll describe the circumstances for isolating mechanism. We'll give you the example of the behavioral isolation, and we will discuss what actually is meant by the sexual selection. We'll also talk about the pre-mating mechanism, discuss the different factors getting along with it, and talk about the fertilization as well. That's all for now, right now.